Harry Kane, could he be about to force a move away from Tottenham to Bayern Munich? Have Manchester United got a sting in the towel with this transfer deal as well? We're also taking a look at Axel Disasi. Is Cancelo going to move to Arsenal? And Chelsea's pursuit of a number 9 is about to take a turn in the right direction, and a prolific number 9 at that. Make sure like buttons are hit. Get that bell notification turned on as well. It was a weekend off for the Football Terrace, but we're back today with big transfer news, big opinions, but more importantly, I want to know what you think in the comment section below. Let's do this. Harry Kane. My opinion is everybody in the world thinks that he has world-class ability, world-class outputs, world-class attributes across the board. Barring maybe the most important, how does Harry Kane perform in title races and in clutch games? There's always conjecture about that. There's always challenge. There's always a differing opinion. Always. I think there will be today, there will be next week. As long as he continues at Tottenham Hotspur, that question will never be answered. And when Kane was in his early 20s, mid-20s, it was okay because the response from people like me that believe Harry Kane is a true footballing genius, I believe he's a genius of a player, our pushback was very much, he'll prove it later on in his career. He's still young. He has time. But time is no longer on his side. Time is running out. He needs a move. Staying at Tottenham is career suicide. You're never going to be in a title race. You may find yourself occasionally in a cup final or a semi-final, and then suddenly all the pressure is upon you. You're the star, and you're expected to be the only person that turns up and gets you over the line. And that pressure is too much for most people to handle. Harry Kane needs to join a winning football club. Harry Kane needs to join a team that has the desire, the facilities, and the want to go out there and deliver these trophies. I believe he needs to be surrounded by like-minded people. I believe that's where Harry Kane's mindset is. But he has to prove it, and he has to force the move away. He has to get himself away from Tottenham to be in those title races, to be in those big finals, to score the goals or deliver winning performances that lead to trophies. And then he completes football. Then he becomes the legend that his talent dictates he should. It has been reported that Bayern have submitted their second bid for Harry Kane. It's confirmed. This report first came out of Germany, 80 million euros plus add-ons. Now, let's just call it out for what it is. It's going to be rejected. Fabrizio has already confirmed here they have no intention of selling him for 80 million euros. That makes him, by the way, only 8 million pounds more expensive than the total price of Mount. In fact, that only makes him 3 million pounds more expensive than Kai Havertz. It's a ridiculously cheap, insulting bid from Bayern. But they'll come back. They're going to lowball to begin with. Everybody does. I saw Arsenal get stick for it earlier on this summer. Weird, strange, confusing, dead banter. It's normal. It's insulting based on the talent of the player, but it's usual. Spurs will knock it back quickly, but it gives Bayern an inkling. It lets the player know they're serious. It starts the negotiations. But the biggest news that comes out of this is it wasn't Fabrizio's update. It was the earlier report that Kane wants Bayern Munich. Wants him. Wants them. But he's got to force that move. And I hope that Man United are following this trail. I hope that Man United are looking at these negotiations and waiting for a price to be pretty much agreed. Now, there may be a premium for us to sign him, and that may be an extra 10, 15, 20 million. But I believe if Man United are leading these negotiations, the overall price increases by 20 million plus the premium. So if we can see Bayern Munich agree a £95 million deal, we know that kind of sets the precedent of how much more it costs us. So I'm hoping there's a sting in the tail here from Man United, but we will see. But the most important factor of all of this, the most important factor is Harry Kane forcing a move and getting himself out of Tottenham. He must do it. Now, Fabrizio had another update regarding Cancelo. Now, we all know that a lot of Arsenal fans like the idea of João Cancelo leaving City and joining them. Cancelo was a player that, up until last season, it was looked at as maybe the best fullback in the league, one of the best in the world. Very few people had a bad word to say about him. If Chelsea fans gassed up, praised Reece James, Cancelo was used to debunk it. If Liverpool fans proclaimed that Trent Alexander-Arnold was the best fullback in the league, best in the world, Cancelo was the antidote every time. Suddenly, as yours truly and many other people like me predicted, football evolved. What teams wanted out of their fullbacks changed. Suddenly, being defensively astute became more important than your attacking prowess as a winger or playmaker in that particular role. And all of a sudden, Cancelo is no longer desirable or wanted. And this is the problem with Baller FC, is it's about fashion. What's the most popular TV show to watch based on what makes me look good? What's the most fashionable music, or how should I wear my jeans, or what's the right brand of trainers? People don't often pick what they like or what they want. They pick what is fashionable and they believe makes them look best. I know friends that do this. The music they listen to at home in their bedroom is very different to what they have blasting out of their car. How they are seen publicly can be more important than how they than what they really desire and what they really need. And Cancelo's a real interesting one, but Fabrizio has updated us on this here, and he says that Arsenal have always monitored João Cancelo and Benjamin as well. He says we always mention Cancelo as a player appreciated by Arsenal, but at the moment, I think with Yuri and Timber, their idea is to cover the right back and centre back positions. He's a very important player to Mikel Arteta. He loves to have in the squad, so this is the idea. And I agree. I I think players like Cancelo will be phased out of the game as being the stars of the teams that are challenging for the big titles. I don't think Arsenal need him. I think Urian Timber in 2023 is a better option. He's defensively light years ahead of Cancelo, can play multiple positions. And in terms of his ability on the ball, he'll never be as good as Cancelo going forward, in my personal opinion. He'll never be as good as that. But you don't need that at Arsenal. You have that in your forward players already. We're going back to a period of football again, and it might last for 3 or 4 years and change, where your attacking midfielders, your inside forwards, and your strikers are the playmakers, are the creators, the people tasked with being your offensive outlets. We went through a nice 3 or 4 year period where fullbacks were seen as a key component in that, but it was always going to change. The same as 2 years ago, I was on a debate and people told me number 9s were dead. I said, they'll be back. No way, 9s are dead forever. Again, children speaking. And there's no disrespect. Some young people have great football palates. We have people like David and Don and many others that come on the terrace who are very, very knowledgeable, in my opinion, on football. But the problem is when you're young is you don't have experience. So you don't see the cycles of football because you don't remember them, because you're literally not old enough to remember them, with respect. And you see it happen. So I'm not surprised to see Arsenal are nowhere near this player. Now, I want to move on to Man United and Newcastle here. They are looking at a very interesting player in Axel Disasi. And I think is it pronounced Disasi? I'll put it through Google Translate to get it right. Disasi, sorry, Disasi. It says here that Newcastle and Man United are both exploring him. No bids yet. It says Newcastle will approach the player's side this week, expected to make contact with Monaco. Ten Hag has approved the deal. Talks for weeks on the player's side, but still waiting for an approach with Monaco. Now, I don't know much about this individual, so this segment of the video is very much to say, what do you all make of him? What do you think? People that watch French football, let me know now. When I say French football, I'm talking about the league in itself. I want to understand your take. Now, for me, he's 25 years of age, so this is no kid. This is no inexperienced player. This is an individual that if he comes in, he's straight into your first team squad. I don't think he gets straight into the Manchester United team, but he had recently broke into the French side. Very well respected. What I've read about him online seems good. But that's it. All I'm reading is good scouting reports. I'm not reading this guy's a world beater. So I want to understand what you think and feel, but I do believe Man United need backup. This sounds like a backup signing to me. A backup to Rafael Varane, a much better player than Maguire in most people's eyes, and definitely more physical. So good physical attributes, a good backup to the likes of Rafael Varane. But look, when it comes to Manchester United, we need to bolster that area, but I don't think we need. Well, I'd love somebody of a Kim Min Jae or above level, but if you can't, maybe you settle for a little bit less. There may be some of you though that think Axel is as good, if not better. You may listen. I don't have an opinion per se here, but we do need to bolster that area. I think Lindelof is good, but we need to look for better. We know Luke Shaw can cover in those positions, but I think we need better. What do you think in the comment sections below? Let me know. Now, another update from Fabrizio Romano, which is very, very important to focus on here, is that of Vlahovic. He states here that he could leave Juve, but only for the right important bid. And I think we all know that. They're not going to sell him for stupidly cheap money. He's one of the 4 strikers being looked at by PSG. Says Chelsea are currently not negotiating for Vlahovic despite reports. Chelsea and Bayern Munich appreciate Dusan, but haven't opened talks as things stand. That flies in the face of many other reports that they have, or that they will, or that they appreciate him and are monitoring the situation. So it's interesting that it's got a mention as of now. So what do Chelsea fans make of that? Is Vlahovic being used as a little bit of a smoke screen for a different striker? Lautaro Martinez, maybe, as an example. Could it be somebody else? Are you disappointed to read that the Vlahovic deal may not go ahead? Is appreciated by you. You appreciate him, but no formal talks as of yet. Or do you believe this is very much Chelsea playing it coy, playing it down, keeping things quiet until later on down the line when they are far more certain of bringing him in? I really want to understand your take on that because, as I said, over the weekend, we saw multiple reports Chelsea Vlahovic on active, could be motoring forward. Now the talks are that nothing is really going on. I want to understand where you're coming from, Chelsea fans, because we all know that number 9 striker is very, very important to you. Do me a big favor and hit the like button. Please make sure you subscribe. Turn on the bell notifications as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Thank you.